Dounia is an R&B singer on the rise. Raised in Morocco and Queens, she's eclectic and a total original. She just released her sophomore album, The Avant-Garden, and her single Rich Girl Mood featuring Kehlani. We're so happy to welcome Dounia for the first time on the Bill stage. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me, y'all. I love that little intro.
Yeah, it's so good to have you here. This is your first time, but you know, you grew up in Queens and Morocco. So in many ways, this is kind of your backyard growing up, you know, not too far from here.
My backyard. Yep. Exactly what it is. But yeah, I worked actually like right around here in Soho.
What did you do? You have to tell us.
I was an American Apparel sales associate.
Okay, so you're
key manager at one point.
Your t-shirt folding skills must be another level, I'm guessing.
You know what? Like, no, not at all. They're actually really bad. So
I'm so bad at folding.
Confusing.
Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like for so many people, I mean, we just love your fashion sense, and that's really how you came on so many people's radars, just the stuff you're posting on Instagram and even like the outfit you have right now. Talk a little bit about fashion and style. Like, how do you pick an outfit?
Honestly, I always get ready in like 10 minutes tops. Like, that's really how I choose my outfit. So it's really just my luck that day, what's on top of my clothing.
Okay.
But I love colors. I love textures. If you guys could zoom in, my Vans like match my sweater. Like, they're both fuzzy. And my nails are always an accent. I like jewelry.
I'm like obsessed with the nails. I love the blue.
Thank
it's
you.
So perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, I always creative direct my nails. Like, my nail people like hate me, so it's fine. But yeah, I just like to have fun with it. You know, like I'm not too serious about it. I'm just like, okay, colors, whatever. Like, I don't worry about what other people are gonna think about it, because my mom roasts me every day. So she like really has made sure I've built a really thick skin with my style.
So what would Mama Dounia say about this outfit? Give us a little bit of flavor. Like,
I
what
can
did she
tell you
say?
exactly what she said.
Go in.
She said, you should wear pants with that. And then I was like, no. And she's like, okay, tights. And I was like, all right, good idea, Mom.
That's a total mom thing to say. She's just looking out for you. It's a little chilly outside right now.
It's cold. It's really cold.
So you have so much going on. I mean, your sophomore record just dropped. We can check out the artwork right here. I'm obsessed with this. Tell me about this artwork on the Avant-Garden.
I love this artwork. I collaborated with the oil painter, Lucy. I'm like, we'll plug her at name later. But yeah, I collaborated with the oil painter. I give her a really specific vision. Basically, what I do in my artwork is I make a little collage on Photoshop. So like, I use the selfie, and then I went and I found this crown and I plopped it on top. And then I'm like, okay, now I want an oil painter to kind of merge it together. So then she went and did that. And then I went again in Photoshop and I like, you know, did this whole shenanigan. I made sure my face was how I like it. You know what I'm saying? The colors. So yeah, it's a process.
So you're like creative directing your nails, the album artwork, really everything. No biggie.
Yeah, no, I'm very, very like specific about like everything in my life. So
totally.
It's fun though.
Well, take me back. I mean, growing up, like for you, did you know that you always wanted to be an artist?
Did I know I always wanted to be an artist? I never saw it as like a feasible kind of path to go down. I wanted to be a writer. Even though I could never finish anything, I was really into poetry. And then I wanted to become an English teacher because I loved my English teacher. And I was like, my kids would love me. And I would just make jokes all day. And then, I don't know, artists just kind of fell into my hands later on while I was like building my social media. And I was like, all right, this kind of makes sense because I love making music. I never thought it'd be a real kind of thing to pursue. But it kind of makes sense now because I have an audience and yeah. So that's
For
how
sure.
that happened.
Well, a lot of people remember you really kind of on Instagram and having these amazing fashion posts, but also posts about body positivity, confidence. I mean, for someone so young, where did that come from? Because it's hard. I mean, the internet is not a very nice place all the time.
Yo, yeah, that's facts. I mean, in my high school, I was definitely like the weird one, like, you know, like the odd one out.
What were you voted most likely to?
I don't think I showed up to class enough for them to like vote me anything.
That's fair. That's fair.
So yeah, they would just be like, all right, there's that girl, like, you know, because I would never show up to class. I was always just like cutting class or like, you know, just into my own like art or like writing, you know, making music or just like watching Desperate Housewives at home, you know, for the whole day. And they'd be like, yeah, there's that girl with like her boyfriend jeans and like Jeffrey Campbell like platforms, which is, you know, not a norm back then.
Now that'd be a look, though.
Yeah, for sure.
That would be a look. You were ahead of your time.
It was a look back then, too.
You were avant-garde, see? Even back then, yeah.
Facts. But yeah, and I started working at American Apparel, and I think that was a big kind of stepping stone too, because I would post a lot of pictures. And American Apparel is all like crop tops and, you know, like booty shorts. And like as a thick girl, that somehow was like very, you know, like scandalous. So I didn't even notice I was being body posy. I was just being myself. And then the internet kind of, you know, pegged me as body posy, and I was like, yeah, this is great. Like, you know, like of course I'm all for this movement. And now it's something that I kind of like intentionally kind of talk about and spread to young girls, because it's really important to be confident within yourself. You know, confidence within your physical will go way past your physical. You know, a lot of girls will be stunted, like very stunted by how they feel about their body or how they feel about whatever. So I try to always talk about that and yeah, make sure we're our best powerful selves.
How do you balance that? Because I think now that you're in the public eye, I mean, more and more people look at you, but you also get, you know, more criticism, haters, trolls. How do you just kind of stay positive and stay up? Because it can be hard, not just, you know, for an artist, but for, you know, everyday people, everyday, you know, girls and guys.
Absolutely. And, you know, I can't sit here and pretend that I'm perfect and my mental health is always spotless or whatever. But I think being real is a large part of it. And identifying what is good for you and what's healthy for you. I feel like when I first became an artist, I thought that I had to indulge in the same things that all the other artists were indulging in, whatever that may be, you know, or act a way that they all are. And then I realized I'm sensitive, you know, I'm sensitive.
What sign are you?
I'm an Aries.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Which means I'm like a fire sign, but I have my moments, I have my sides. But yeah, I'm that sensitive, so I was like, all right, you can't just be. You have to take time for yourself. If you don't feel like you're socially capable today, stay your ass at home. You know, if you feel like you just want to have, you know, a day to yourself, or you just want to kindly tell people, all right, I'm sorry, but like, you know, I need some space. Like that's all okay, and that's always appropriate. So yeah, it's really learning how to maneuver life in a way that works for you, and just always taking care of yourself and taking the time to really be in tune with that inner voice, you know, because sometimes that inner voice gets lost, especially me. If I'm constantly on the move, if I'm touring, or if I'm in LA, I'm doing sessions every day, it's like I'm constantly around people. Sometimes I lose that inner voice. I'm like, where is she? Where am I? Like, you know? So I have to like go home, meditate, take 10 minutes to just be like, all right, I'm chilling now.
I mean, self-care is so real, and you see that with so many young celebrities really kind of struggling. So I think it's great, you know, more and more people openly talking about it, that, you know, you kind of face the same issues that we all do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I feel like when you're an artist, or you could view things as both sides of the spectrum, which is what I've been thinking of recently. Because people who don't have a platform or don't have an audience could say, oh, you're so privileged. You have nothing to be sad about. You have nothing to be anxious about. And then people on this side could be like, all right, but you don't feel like mad people are watching you and like you have all this pressure on you, blah, blah, blah. So we both could, you know, it's all perspective at the end of the day. So yeah, I could say it's seemingly getting harder, but it could also seemingly be getting easier for a lot of people. So I just try to, you know, remain gracious, remain grateful, and just, you know, be peaceful as much as I can.
Absolutely. We'll talk a little bit about this album. I mean, just kind of the creative process. What was going through your mind as you were recording?
This project I consider my party project. It was at a phase where I was really just wilding out, and I think you can hear it in a lot of the tracks. And yeah, I really experimented with this one. It was the first one where I entered a studio in like Los Angeles, and you know, it was like with an actual producer. I've never done that before. With my project before this one, it was in my room. I was recording over just like beats that I found that I liked. And there's some house tracks on this, which was I just didn't expect myself to ever do. And there's also some like super moody tracks, which I'm gonna sing today, like 50-50, and Hard Candy is bright, but it's still moody. So yeah,
I love Hard Candy. That's definitely a nice little emo vibe. I'm into it.
Emo vibe.
Yeah, especially for the winter, for sure.
Yeah, and there's that Darija freestyle, which I love because, you know, it's my culture and it's my language. So that's amazing to me that that's on there. I didn't even know it was going to be on this project, but it was, so it's exciting.
Well, talk a little bit about your culture, because again, growing up, not just in America, but in Morocco as well, how did those influences kind of make it into your music?
Well, I feel like growing up Moroccan, I really wasn't exposed to that much music. Like when I talk to my friends or just people in the industry, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I grew up with the Beatles," and and I'm like, my mom never played any of that stuff.
The Moroccan
like,
Beatles, you weren't listening to the Moroccan Beatles?
No,
yeah.
like I wasn't exposed to any music, and then I immediately became like a book nerd when I came to America because I was trying to learn English. Like it was so like devastating for me to not be able to communicate because obviously I'm sure you could already tell like I'm a rambler, so it was like really hard for me. So I just became a super book nerd, and yeah, I really never got into music, and then I only started getting into it like exposed with like radio. So I feel like my influence is really, especially melodically, I feel like my influence is really streamlined. Like I like really clean like pop records, and I like
What were you listening to growing up?
All right, don't judge me, y'all, but I was literally listening to like Eminem and like Taylor Swift. Like those were my two really go-tos. Taylor Swift was like, yeah, in my bag, in my mood, and she has like really clean kind of melodies. And then Eminem, of course, like I was like, woo, wordplay and multi-syllable rhymes and transparency, which is something I still abide by in my music. Who else was I listening to? No, Never Shall Never, remember?
A little bit, yeah.
Like that whole stuff. Like, but those are two that I remember like prominently. But just like a bunch of pop stars, and obviously like as I was growing older, it was like Drake and The Weeknd, and I was like, ooh, R&B. Like
For sure.
Definitely a variation.
So kind of being from, two cultures, how kind of easy or difficult was it for you to pursue music and entertainment as a career? Because I think oftentimes, there's certain cultural expectations or stereotypes. I mean, was it pretty easy? Like, how was your family accepting when you said, you know what, I'm going to be a singer when I grow up?
Yeah, I don't really think they had the chance to really have an opinion on it.
That's fair, yeah.
Because I really just delved into it. I mean, I did drop out of high school, but like, nobody really knew because I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna finish up my credits, whatever, like it's fine. And then as that was kind of occurring, I really dove deep into it, and like I was working really hard. And I don't think anybody from my family could look at the effort that I put in consistently and be like, no, So I think at this point they're all just proud, even if there's some things that they don't necessarily approve of, the haram elements of it, like whatever, they'll get over it. And they know my core, and I feel like that's all that matters really. But yeah, it's been cool.
Yeah, and I think for many ways you're totally an inspiration. I mean, for young women from so many cultures that you can really follow your dream, regardless of the expectation.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I do get a lot of little Moroccan girls, little Middle Eastern girls, little Muslim and culturally Muslim girls that tell me, wow, like, I can't believe that you exist, that I have this representation. Because, I mean, it's true. I grew up in, an environment that told me my value decreased if, I was promiscuous or, like it was not okay to be attracted to whoever and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, like all these guidelines. So, yeah, I mean, of course, like I really was just being myself, and I'm fortunate enough that it gained a platform. But it's also really cool to acknowledge that it is a representation for little Dounians who are like, am I weird?
No, you're just, the next generation of Dounias. Yeah, no, it's super dope. I think one track that everyone's talking about on this project is your collabo with Kehlani. Talk a little bit about how that came about and just the kind of vibe of that record.
That record was very, very unexpected. I mean, I already cut the song and everything, and she came out to New York, and I remember I was in such a down place, like I was just over everything. I was having a bad day, and then she hit me up. She was like, "Hey, do you want to come through the studios today? Like, I'm in New York." I'm like, "Bruh, it's like you read my mind, like you read my."
Did you guys
vibe.
know each other, or she just hit you on DM? Okay, okay.
Yeah, we knew each other. We met each other at her Philly show, a random show. I had no idea she knew who I was. So I was just going to like support and watch. And she was like, oh, Dounia. And I was like, dope. Like, I'm glad you know who I am. Like, this is great. And then she like kind of like was like, oh yeah, we should collab. But I didn't take it too seriously. I'm like, oh, okay, Kehlani, like sure, like we'll collab. But then she hit me up to go to the studio and we were just like working on her new music, which is like so good, just like listening to it and stuff. And then toward the end of the session, it was like 3 a.m., super tired. I played the song. She was like, play me that one song again. And then I played it and she was like, can you open up a verse for me? And I was like, yeah, absolutely, of course.
So chilled. She, yeah, of course. You know, you're already such a professional. It's whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sure you know what you're doing.
You're totally
I'll totally
out,
open the verse for you. But yeah, I was super flattered. And she was just like, yeah, I want to be on the Dounia project. I was like, she's just super real and super supportive and has always been. So, yeah, and she sat there for like 2 minutes writing the hardest verse I've ever heard in my life. And I recorded it. And that was that, really.
Well, we're excited. This is your first time on the Bill stage, and you're actually going to be performing for us. So it's going to be really good.
Hopefully.
No, it'll definitely be
really good.
But before we do that, we have a few questions coming in from the audience. So why don't we see what they have to say?
Swag.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Gio.
Oh my God, Gio.
Yes,
I literally remember like everybody. I'm going to be like, oh.
Yes.
Hi,
So we obviously spoke a few times on DM. I sent you some beats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think something that a lot of people don't know is that you kind of are like making beats and getting into that like process yourself, which is something that's really cool because, you know, you're known for a lot of things besides music. Obviously, we're talking about like fashion and different things, but being like a finesser and, you know, it's true. It's all about the finesse, right? So can you tell us about maybe like how you got into that and like what inspires you, maybe like how you just got into making beats?
Interesting. Thank you for this question. I feel like I just really needed to know what was going on behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Especially as a girl, like not to pull this card right here, but like as a girl, you know, some producers will be a little, you know, rude. So I was just like, what's the hoopla? You know, I'm like, all right, I have to learn how to do this. Same with engineering too.
Yeah.
And also it's like, I just feel like self-sufficiency is important for anybody, for any artist. You know what I'm saying? If you want to make something, you should just learn the ropes. I mean, you're not losing out on anything, you know? And yeah, it's really been the funnest part. I still love collabing with producers. I still enjoy that more than making beats. Like I'll make beats like semi-frequently, but I'll write all the time, you know? So I can't keep up with myself, you know? Can't keep up with the sauce. So,
and that's such great advice for, especially for up and coming artists, to be able to know everything in the process. So I think it's dope that you kind of took the time to learn it and really learn the process, not just being a singer, songwriter, producer, mixing, mastering. She does it all.
Yeah, for sure. Engineering too, I'm super passionate about learning more about and that whole side of things. But yeah.
That's dope.
Fun.
Cool.
Thank you. Do we have another one?
Hey.
Do you guys also know each other from DM?
Yes, I do know you.
I love it. This is like an Instagram like reunion.
My name's
Yes.
Kevin.
Hello, nice to meet you, Kevin.
Quick question. So looking at your first project, Intro 2, and now the Avant-Garden, how has the writing process changed for you, if any, at all? And do you have any favorite songs that do you think stand out the most to you?
Favorite song one is already a hard question because honestly, it changes all the time. I think King of Queens / Queen of Kings is really impactful and important to me. Daddy's Your Freestyle, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Ice Cubes is my favorite.
Ice Cube, yeah, I really love the fact that people love Ice Cubes because I was really scared for Ice Cubes and If You Wanna. I was like, what are they gonna think? Like, because it's so different, you know? I was like, what are they gonna think of this? Like, but yeah, the writing process was very different. I feel like with the Avant-Garden, it was mostly freestyle. I told you it was in my party phase, so I would just hop in the studio. I'm like, yeah, I'm this artist now. I'm just in Los Angeles, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. Intro 2, I was like, you know, like in my computer, like I was really sitting there, like my pen in action type situation. But yeah, both of them were just a completely different approach, but still my babies, you know, Intro 2, the Avant-Garden.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great questions.
Yeah,
I love your fans. I mean, you have
Super
such a great connection with them.
Yeah, we're best friends forever.
Awesome. Well, you're going to be performing for your best friends here, as well as everyone at home. Again, this is Dounia taking the Bill Series stage for the first time.
Swag.
Super swag.
Thank you for having me.